stuns a lot of people. Maybe we'll see Outlast do that right here, just a stage later than initially anticipated. We'll get things started, of course. Outlast starting in the attack, and Wichita taking the defense first.
Yeah, let's see what they ban. Should be the same old bands as always. Thatcher, Maverick,
yeah, it's club.
Probably
Hibana, maybe, if you want to.
Oh, Hibana, yeah, Hibana's a big one too. Like Maverick, Hibana, you can also do those two and then not ban Thatcher whatsoever, but never mind, Thatcher's gone.
Well, Thatcher's gone, and yeah, right here, it's in all likelihood probably going to be Maverick, Hibana. We have seen some people get a little bit frisky with this second attacker ban. Sometimes they'll go something different. Maybe a Zofia, maybe a Sledge right here. I'd probably stay the hard reach, and... All right, never mind. But here's the thing, though, right? That's actually a pretty good ban from Outlast. If they want to counter Mohes here, Mohes plays Lion very frequently. That's a very good ban by Outlast.
So it looks like they're trying to go first. It looks like they've maybe done their VOD review, getting rid of the Mute and the Lion. So kind of counterplaying the way that, the E1D works, so they can't really get on Mute Jammer and deny it. But at the same point, you leave a lot of other operators available to the attack, which, could be good for Outlast because they're attacking first. Well, Valkyrie banned out, Thatcher banned out for Wichita. What was this? The same old.
Yeah, and it is Outlast who, ironically enough, they were ones that got a bit more inventive with the ban phase. And targeting Mohes like that, I think, might put him off of his comfort zone. On a map like Clubhouse, you don't really see Lion and Nomad on Club all that often, though. So when they do switch to the attack, maybe it's a situation where Mohes wouldn't have even played it anyway, but either way, at least it shows they have done some of their homework and are trying to go out of their way to counter one of the highest rated players in CL right now. Of course, Outlast, they're also starting the attack, and I imagine they weren't going to be bringing Lion all that much anyway. For the first side of Gym Bedroom, they will be bringing a Dokkaebi, though, who fulfills a similar role in some areas.
So on the Gym Bedroom, and they're bringing... So the Kaid is in place too, so the question is how are they going to deal with Electro Claws if they're not bringing the Maverick?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see. And then the question is, so especially with with Mira on the board as well for this site, it's gonna be pretty difficult we're gonna see Outlast really push forward, deal with those extensions, take control, and they're gonna somehow have to deal with this Electro Claw either from the drone hole or from the gym window, or if they can take control of Logi. It depends. I'm really interested to see how quick Outlast can deal with some of this question. Oh, that is an interesting Electro Claw place I just saw right there.
I didn't even see where he threw it. Where
he
did
threw it in the hatch.
That's what I thought. Okay, for a second I thought that was
because now that wall is a single wall.
That is true. I immediately defaulted. I was like, why is there like an Abrani gate that's not activated there? But that was an Electric Claw on the hatch. So,
and that only works now because that wall between cash and construction is a single wall than a double wall.
Can we talk about, by the way, how at least for my eyesight, that's a lot better of a change. I've never been a big fan of that tiny little reinforcement panel. That's always been a pet peeve of mine, just to look at. So.
They're so big on other walls, but on this wall specifically, it's only half the size.
Some defenders pack reinforcements that can literally cover like 200 square kilometers, and then this one, it's like the size of an ottoman. Anyway. That's
and also that electrical also stops them from opening up the stock wall too into stage.
That's true.
So there's a lot of that is a very creative Electric Claw, and we'll see how Outlast can deal with that too. And first of all, it's gonna be dealing with this roam and dealing with these roamers downstairs, because you saw the castle barricades as well. Downstairs the stage, downstairs some bar. So of course you got members on side of Witcher Wolves playing on a vertical roam, actually, surprisingly.
That's true. Mohes currently chilling out inside of Cash right now. He'll instead move into CCTV, trying to take a fight with Genesis, but he'll regret that. Very aggressive play by Mohes to start things out, but probably ill-advised in the long run, especially considering that wall is soft. While nobody from Outlast was over there, that's very easy for Outlast to counter that style of play. Somebody has rotated over. I believe that's Forrest to try and pick him up, and no, it's actually Freak to take that fight, but he just lands and peppers Genesis a little bit more. Is able to pick up Mohes, but... Well, that's the problem, is he's in a bit of a precarious spot right now in between all of these attacks.
Oh, he's being droned too. Oh.
Yeah,
he's being droned as well. They're gonna have to leave him alone. Yeah, he's gone. Mohes has been, unfortunately, could not recover Mohes's body, so there goes Mohes, and Freak's gotta pull off now because he's being pressured from different angles. He sees one member, he sees two, he can't either kill, and he's still really looking for the kill. Look, he's waiting to jump out maybe his window. I would at that point maybe have jumped down or try to save for his life, but he's gonna back off. He's gonna give away his life at least. So now the members, so this is kind of where the roam kind of goes in play. Where is this downstairs roam for Wichita Wolves going to pay off? Having the post below, having the C4s available to try and deny a plant.
think that could be the defining factor of this round. Outlast right now, they've just now fully cleared out this extension into CCTV and cache. They have 50 seconds remaining. They've not made any headway into logistics. They haven't opened up Jacuzzi Wall. They do have some players rotating to Metal Balk and able to get the trade onto Freak, keeping their man advantage. But with Genesis down as well and now finished off by a C4, there are still 2 C4s on the side of Wichita Wolves. They're not down below. It is Abwenai inside a bathroom. That's always a tricky spot to play, but the angles are at Wichita Wolves' disposal, and Forrest is demonstrating that perfectly. A 2-piece sitting inside of logistics and peeking over towards the construction doorway. It's now the Hibana left in the 1v3. Dino will try his best to recover the diffuser. He'll do that successfully. Spots the Mira, but too late and too slow on the reaction. The first round goes the way of the Wolves.
Well, there's a rocky start there, a rocky start there for Wichita Wolves. A bit better for Outlast, but it was Mohez getting really aggressive on that server window, trying to get a pick, an early pick on a member from Outlast, but they were ready and waiting for that peak. They down him, and they also get that, they're able to get that finisher pushing into server, and it was Mohez, and then it was Freak trying to play aggressive in construction as that castle. He's able to get one pick, but traded out, so it was the man advantage for Outlast pushing in, but Outlast never had another real angle to push into. They didn't have control of Logi. They tried to control Logi, but there was, C4, a pre-play C4 that actually was pinged that still blew Genesis up. And at that point, they tried to push through that doorway into bedroom, and it was, members like Forrest who were playing as that Kai ready for that fight with that AUG. It just stopped them one by one. So unfortunately, Outlast didn't have a lot of push there, a lot of pull in their execute.
I forget. Tachanka is a 3-speed, right?
Oh yeah, no.
Or, 3 armor. 3 armor. Excuse me.
There actually was a glitch that. Oh wow, actually, it was a 3-speed.
Sure, I forgot you got on and off the turret really quick.
Yeah, you got off the turret. He was a 3-speed running around.
Oh, that was back when I played on console. That was a long time ago. Wow.
That was a scary time.
I was gonna make a comment that Wichita Wolves, I think 4 of their 5 defenders are 3 armors right now. So
actually, I think you're. Hey, yeah, you're right. Yeah, every single one's a 3 armor except for Jaeger.
So I think they might be anchoring this go around.
No, they're gonna roam. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're right. Freak's gonna be sprinting around the map with a vector and literally 2-ton weights tied to his ankles. That's definitely what we're gonna see.
Hey, the roaming mirror isn't crazy.
But I mean, in terms of utility, I mean, you have those mirror windows, you have the electro claws for the denial, maestro cams for both intel and explosive utility that Outlast has to dispense with, and also Mo has to waste time with those Shimika grenade launchers. So while you don't have the smoke, you still have that deployable shield and still some ability to waste time. So while they might all be slow and they're not going to be doing a lot of rotating or rotating very far, they are bringing a lot of effective utility, and they still have Abwenai as well, who's very good on the defense. But was that... No, I was about to say
he's Electroclaw hatch.
I don't know why. I thought he was in kitchen for some reason. I was no, he's in Moto. We're good.
Yeah, he's in Moto. He's Electroclaw tricking with the hatch inside of Moto. So let's see how well that works. Actually, no. Yeah. So the one hatch, so one claw is on the kitchen hatch, one claw is on the Moto hatch, and I believe, Force is trying to maybe trick that hatch. Freak by himself as the mirror inside of dirt with no real, no shield or anything, so I wonder how long that's going to last with a vector in hand. Freak was going to back off for the moment, not get shot by members of Outlast pushing that dirt tunnel. So far, Outlast pushing through that dirt side. What other control will Outlast push for besides dirt? Pushing through, looking to get that kill onto Freak, but looks like nothing was there for that. He's actually lying down around the corner.
Yeah, he's lying down around the corner. Genesis might be able to land the pre-fire, but no, Freak's able to land the shots in time. Oh, a 6 shot as well! Jewel completely wiped off the face of the earth. A 3v5 for Wichita Wolves to start things out. I was going to say, and, obviously, this is me not liking to take risks. I was going to say, Freak, maybe you should rotate out. Dirt is always an awkward engagement, especially if you're facing a head-on 1v2. Maybe you should rotate away. But it's Freak we're talking about. He can hit these shots every day of the week. And taking down the Ace and the Zofia as well, that's some powerful utility you hurt. Those X-Kairos charges are going to be the focus of Outlast hard breaching. Can't really open Church Wall anymore. Can't really open up many of the other hatches, or if you've opened up those hatches, transitioning hard breaching utility down to the site is basically not going to happen at this point.
Could they not grenade the Electro Claw on the kitchen hatch?
I want to be honest, Benny, they might just not have time. I don't think they did, but they might
it looks like it's still electrifying. They didn't go for it, so I guess they're just saying no to it. Though they see the Sumishka launchers are denying them from pushing main stairs. So time is just ticking here, and they have no control. They will open a Moto hatch. But again, these Shumika launchers, that and also the mirror watching that main wall, there's so many hurdles in the way for Outlast to even make this work out. Panic goes down too, pushing down blue stairs. Actually, he dropped down the hatch and kitchen. So it looks like he did drop down, and now it's Othino trying to push into the main domain door. We'll figure out, get cast out by call out, and it's just Nomad now in a 1v5. It seems to be a very similar situation to last round.
Well, he will manage to find one, thankfully. Mohes not looking the right way at all, so he'll deny Wichita Wolves the flawless round, but it will take more than an indicator appearing on our screen, or the lack of one, to really cement in our minds how dominant of a round that was from Wichita Wolves. Even ignoring Freak's play, let's just say he completely rotates out and Outlast have dirt control. You could just see by the way Wichita Wolves were playing, they had everything on lock. Mohes was sitting on the gen wall of Church, firing and landing Shumika grenades at the bottom of main. That man has practiced his lineups, he knows them well, and he was executing them perfectly. Moreover, the roles of all the players inside the site, the Maestro, though while the Tachanka did die, again, Mohes was still playing his position very well. Wichita Wolves had everything cemented, and you brought up that, hey, Outlast, they're not going for this kitchen hatch. They're not taking down the electric claw. Outlast looks shaky on tackling some of the more basic and important parts of a kitchen execute. So, when Dirt fell, and they weren't successful in that regard, and they weren't able to get kitchen hatch, all that was left with was honestly, a destined for death push down bottom main, and that's exactly the destiny they met at the bottom.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't really go for it. They tried to go for a blue and moto push, but at that point, time left, and not many members left on their side. They really couldn't make it happen because they're trying to push two different ways with 3 members on their side. So, unfortunate for Outlast, we go on to Wichita Wolves' next defense. Their third defense or third site, I mean, CCTV and Cash, and of course, they got Mohes on the Bandit, and they have Kaid as well from Force. So they're gonna try and keep lock of both that plat wall and those garage walls for as long as possible. Having those electric claws on that rafter so they can affect those walls is going to be pretty big, and I'm wondering how they're going to deal with them with those ADSs on the rafters. I'm pretty sure they're not going to get those garage walls open, but they can at least stop Mohes from bandit tricking by going below.
Likely some verticality could come into play. Genesis also switching from the Zofia to the Ash, so will lack some of those concussions. Of course, reason Mohes puts that barricade up is to stop some possible concussion tricking. So for here, in terms of burning ADSs and also trying to stop bandit tricking, depending on the angle you go for, could be a bit more difficult because of that trade. But Benny, they will be going for the garage walls. Athena will open one up immediately, and that's an important position to open up. Denies the rotate through CC window back into garage, makes it a bit more difficult to rotate back into site if you're already in garage. And so for right here, if they're able to minimize Mohes's impact on plat wall as well, not a bad start for Outlast. There you go.
And there's a grenade.
Pretty good.
Perfect grenade onto Mohes. Yeah, I thought they would get both walls with the electric claw. I guess he saved one. Maybe Force is trying to save one for that wall below him. So at least Mohes has gone down, so no bad tricking else for him. Not sure if he can get picked up. Nope, he's dead now by Jewel. So now they have stopped the bandit from band tricking. They've gotten part of this wall opening garage that Wichita Wolves left for them. I believe Abinai is playing pit though, or swamp, as he's playing below, looking to try and stop them from aggressing onto forest, as they've got great pings on the forest. They have pings there, and forest is getting pressured left and right. There he goes, down to panic. Abinai comes in a bit too late, unable to get a refrag or a kill at all, so he's gonna have to back off. He's gonna walk away from that, and there goes Jewel with that throat hole kill. Great kill on the call out, and it's Freak. Great shot on Nomad though, coming back through, trying to regress and take some man ground back, but unfortunately it's 1 for 1 back and forth. It's Outlast winning every single duel.
Abinai has to rotate back. Almost got a kill onto the sledge early on, but unfortunately had to rotate off, and it's the sledge that is his undoing in the end. Very, very strong round from Outlast. Able to shut down every single element of Wichita Wolves' defense. They downed Mo early on, stopped him from bandit tricking, destroyed the bandits as well, opened up the wall in the first minute. Also, opened up some good headway in the garage, started putting pressure on the player on rafters. That was Forest. The one big player that could have stopped them was Abinai. But there were 3 players in garage and at least 1, maybe even 2 players watching Swamp where Abinai was playing. So when he wasn't able to land the shots onto the sledge, though he did have an opportunity to, when he didn't land those shots, he's forced to rotate off because there's just too many players for him to deal with. And at that point, you have moments where call out I wouldn't say he swings breach, but he exposes himself a little bit. But as you said, he's able to be seen through that drone hole, taken down. If round number 2 is Wichita Wolves playing their positions in the orchestra to perfection, that was Outlast's example on the attack.
We got it.
What?
We're going. We're doing it. We're doing it, guys. We're doing it. Bar and stage.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Bar and stage.
Yes!
Let's do it.
Made it. I want to thank my mom for getting me here. I want to thank my dad for always believing in me. He'd say, son, you will cast a bar games defense one day. We did it!
We're here.
We're here!
Bar and stage, the new improved defense site with the clubhouse we work from this season. Let's see how well it works.
What are the changes? What's different about this site?
It's the bomb site isn't in stock where you can just walk in the door and plant.
Heading out.
Wait, so you can't just walk in a doorway and
You
plant the
can't
bomb
just
anymore?
ying them and walk in? No, you can't.
I can't believe it. This is
Oh
incredible.
my god.
So if you could tell by our reactions, this site used to be pretty bad and nobody plays it really. So
Yeah, no,
kind of
it's pretty,
excited right now.
Pretty difficult.
Here's
It's-
here's the issue though, right, Benny?
Yeah, what's up?
It's still not good.
I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say it's not good or bad. There is a lot of vertical play though in this site because the entire top floor is besides the bed is openable, is destructible. Destructible, that's the word for it. But yeah, so I'm not sure if I'd say it's good or bad just yet. And boom. That reminds me of when they did that to Forest like 2 stages ago.
I forgot about that.
That was funny. But either way, that's a great start for Wichita Wolves. And the interesting part too is now, of course, stage is now the bomb site, but there is a doorway between stage and bar because before with bar there was no way between to get to stage unless you walk through the double door, which is kind of a horrible cutoff and very difficult for defenders to come back through that the entryway. So as soon as you see now teams try to play this site. It's only been played once in NAL, and here it's played once in CL here. So, well, I don't know if it's going to work out. The first step for, Outlast is taking control top floor, though.
Also, I'll amend my statement earlier, by the way. It's not that the site is bad. It's that it's kind of like Basement on Chalet. You really need to have good success on the roam because there's still not many good spots to anchor downstairs. And for right now, it's going pretty well. Forrest managed to land the opening pick on a Panic, was not traded. Freak, sure, he's lost a lot of health. He's pushed out of construction, but he still managed to rotate off alive. Now Outlast are also making some headway down below, opening up that stage wall. So even though they are lacking in the man count, they do still have a lot of avenues opened up upstairs and on the same level as the site to start making their push happen. Atheno at this double door, moving in through main, peering into the bar, doesn't find anybody just yet because in fact, since you really can't anchor on this site, not many people there. 3 players from Wichita Wolves currently up top playing that vertical you mentioned earlier, Benny, and Adonai and Callout, the latter of which with the C4 are the only 2 directly in the path of Outlast when it comes to the final 45 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know how much you can really... I don't think there's any vertical angles, unfortunately, for stage because it's right above below construction, besides the hatch at least. So I wonder how much vertical play can really help them. Great shot from Theo on a call out. So one of those members, like you said, below is been taken out. Freak is low in HP, unfortunately. No, there goes that shield. It's shot by Theo with another kill on Abonai. Great shots on a Freak, and the plank goes down now. It's just Mohes in Forest coming back to site. And, well, how are they going to get back to site that isn't being washed by the attackers? Mohes drops right down into the sights of Jewel. It's now Forest, and he's all alone, looking at one angle, sees the head of Jewel at least, but there's a lot of members above him and in front of him waiting for it. Does not see the foot of the Ash. It's Genesis, takes him down, and Forest, unfortunately, he could not clutch it up, and it's, Wichita Wolves tried. They tried.
I think that is still a 0% win rate for bar stage in North America currently. I don't believe they won it in the NAO, but
I don't remember. I didn't watch it, but I heard about it.
I believe they also did not win it there. Started out good, as you can see. Forrest just read Panic's movement like a book. But this is still sort of the issue with bar and stage, is that even though there is more potential for roaming and vertical play, it's still a bit difficult to anchor on the site, and it's difficult to counter the attackers from moving in. And as you said, Benny, since there are some vertical angles, but still not a lot of them, especially on the stage side, that's where Outlast planted and staged their execute, no pun intended.
Yep.
They moved in from that side. Not a lot of angles that Wichita Wolves can counter. When Atheno gets those 2 kills, that seemed like it was it at that point. Wichita Wolves were just like, I guess we'll rotate down, because that's all they could do. And they did that, and then they were shut down as well, because members of Outlast were watching those rotates down. So I appreciate the attempt by Wichita Wolves. It was a good start, but they still succumbed to some of the failings inherent within the bomb site.
Yeah, again, they use that same creative Ledger Claw where they put it in the hatch to get the construction wall and to get the stage wall. But I wonder, we saw their Genesis all Genesis have to do is just open up the construction window and just throw an ash charge at the hatch, and it blows up the electric claw. So I wonder maybe next time to maybe close that hatch and then throw the electric claw so that it doesn't get shot out so easily, especially for that site.
Maybe.
Hard to say, because again, big thing was the fact that you said before, they open a stage wall and that's easy access into the site. And especially with the ACOGs in hand, they can just shoot from the side of stage, like Athena and Genesis just have ACOGs in hand, and they can just shoot straight into the site on members of the defense who aren't really aware or aren't really ready for those fights. So unfortunate for them. Wichita Wolves get downstairs for our next site. We go back to the basement where this time they really tried to do a dirt push, but it was Freak on the mirror playing inside of dirt that stopped that dirt push entirely, which kind of just floundered Outlast into making different rotates at different sides, and they could not find anything else than that execute.
Too early to call on whether or not they're able to make some of those adaptations, but surely Freak is not going to get a 2K either in the way he did or at all, because that would be
A bomb has
one,
been
incredible for
located.
Freak. Two, disappointing for Outlast if they just get 1v2'd by Amira again. But he is currently playing that same position, does have a lot of intel at his disposal as well, and Outlast are slowly making their way towards, trying, that's the word there, to make their way in, and trying does not necessitate success, as you just found out. Freak, though, only got one kill. He took down Genesis, who had already expended a lot of his utility, and gets traded out in the process. While Nomad is low, the fact that they still got Freak and have dirt control is of paramount importance.
That is definitely an improvement compared to the last time they tried to take control of dirt. So big on them for this. And the question is, can they deal with this electric claw? I think they're going to figure out, where is that electric claw? How can we get rid of it? They're droning below it and they're looking like, where is this electric claw?
like,
How do I destroy this? Oh, but looks like that is a good play though. But they tried to do it where they put the X-Cows next to the hatch, but it seems like that's not quite working, because you do it like thermite charges. You can put thermite charges next to electrified hatches and destroy the hatch through AoE. But well, it looks like they still can't. No, they're dead. They are stumped. 100% stumped.
They are flabbergasted right now. I remember I posted a gif of a penguin looking at the sunset, very confused. Outlast is the penguin right now. They are not very sure about what to do about this electric claw. So even though they managed to get Freak inside of dirt, and the operator Freak got actually wasn't all that important in Outlast lineup, considering Genesis had used a lot of his utility, Outlast have not been able to make any headway on other parts of the map except for dirt. And now that Mohas knows this, he is dumping all of his utility inside of dirt. Outlast are making another quick rotation over to Moto and into blue. We'll send down some flash grenades to try to take Abunai off guard. Mohesh doing double duty, helping both the Jaeger inside of Gen and also trying to contain the attackers in dirt. Athenos managed to get a kill on the force, but there's Abunai holding it down. Panic's able to get the kill with the Tachanka taken down. It's a 1v1. That Panic comes away the victor. Outlast, they do manage to take the lead on Clubhouse, something I don't think many of us were expecting.
That was huge though. That was start of that round. Unfortunate was for unfortunate for Genesis. He walks in, he gets taken out by Freak once again. Freak doesn't get refragged though, and then they spend like a good minute or so trying to deal with electrical. They could not find for the life of them on that kitchen hatch, but they still able to rotate into a dirt blue take, and it ends up working out, dealing with Forest from that blue side. And then dropping on Abunai, who was, because Mohans was the forefront of stopping them pushing from dirt. But what you do is you deal with Abunai, you jump in, and you pinch out Mohans, and it leaves him to be, it was bloody though. It still was a 1v1 in the end. But at least that 1v1 works out for Panic.
And that was, bloody might be an understatement for that round. It was hectic, it was messy, people were pulling hair, it was just...
Locate and defuse bombs.
Nobody escaped unscathed in that fight, even Panic, even though he was the last man standing. So for Wichita Wolves, I mean, in all honesty, 3-3 half on Clubhouse defense is not bad by any means, but still, going down at the half to a team like Outlast, Connor even predicted, I think it was 7-3, 7-4 was his max. Outlast win one more round. They're on the top side of that scale Connor set for them, so there's already a chance that Outlast are exceeding expectations, and just in terms of the overall storyline going into this, Outlast have literally nothing to lose. If they lose to Wichita Wolves, who are 2-0 right now and have only lost 2 rounds in CL,
10 seconds remaining.
it's okay. You lost to Wichita Wolves. What else would you expect? But if they win, they have everything to gain. For Outlast right here, the more rounds they win, I think Connor even said it earlier, the more rounds they
Attackers
win,
are moving out to
that's just
locate
enough
a
for them
bomb
at that
and
point.
defuse it.
They can make a statement.
They definitely make a
That's
statement. It's definitely interesting to see how they do on the defense, but they're already making a statement here. 3 rounds against Wichita Wolves and some, I'll say dominant ones, but still they're scrapping by and they're winning them. is the big thing, no matter what. Even if they are, scrappy, kind of crazy. Except for that bar stock one. That bar in stage one was definitely pretty flawless, but that's also bar in stage. Hard to say, but we're on to back to our bedroom gym defense, which last time was some early aggression, which our Wolves will push them in the disadvantage. But in the end, because Outlast didn't open up Jacuzzi, they didn't have control of Logic either, and that vertical roam from below, which Wichita Wolves using those C4s from below, just kind of really unfortunately just made a one-sided affair for Outlast. They're just trying to push from one side, and it was Wichita Wolves reading their movements time and time again as they push in. But this time, Wichita Wolves aren't playing that vertical roam this time, and it's Outlast to clear that bottom floor, make sure nobody's there, make sure there's no C4s to stop them. No Freak is below as a Frost, and Forrest is running around as Rooney.
Yeah, Outlast have completely switched things up. Before they were going the clearing from the second floor on the eastern side, now on the first floor on the western side. So completely different mentality for Outlast, and they do need to be careful of these players. We just saw one member of Wichita Wolves quickly run back up the main stairs, flirting with the idea of going for a flank if they wanted to. I believe that might have been call out, but who really knows? Freak and Forrest now both meeting up downstairs. Potentially going for a flank in main lobby. Callout is the first to die on the side thanks to a nade from below. Freak will finally spot one, catches Nomad with his back turned to the Frost, can trade things out, minimize the loss of Callout, despite the fact that that is a lost C4 for the defense.
Yeah, Callout was one of the big members on site, and now it's the rest of the members from Outlast trying to push on the site because they know it's low on manpower. It's them. Jewel and Panic, great shots of members on site. They have control of bathroom, have control of site here, and that's the members of Wichita Wolves now to pull back and try and push it back. But they're the man disadvantage. Pings come out, information is there, but they don't know he's planting right in the corner. They don't know. They don't have the pings for it. So Plant goes down. Athena goes down to Freak though, and there's no one. Freak going crazy, gets two of his own. It's Jewel in a post-1 situation of 1v2. He's getting cornered by two members, Wichita Wolves. And Freak wins the fight and quad kill for Freak to win them a 3-3 half.
Massive play by Freak there. We didn't see a lot of it. We saw it towards the end, but that was an extremely close round for Wichita. Of course, it required a clutch, so of course it was close. But Freak, who won that entire round, obviously Abinai, he tried to hit some shots, didn't have some intel. Not entirely his fault. Neither player was in a good position. But Freak had to win that entire round by rotating up main, which is where the attackers came from and were likely watching. So the odds that Freak had to overcome with his only other teammate pinned down inside of logistics, if he came away with 2 kills, that would have been crazy enough. If he managed to get to the top of main stairs and put Wichita Wolves in the position for a retake. But then he gets the rest of them. That's just absurd at that point. Like, that just shouldn't even be happening. So for Wichita Wolves to end that 3-3, bit of poor play by Outlast in that post plant, just getting 1v4'd essentially by Freak. That's a great way to end the half. And going forward onto the attack, if you want to talk about this, Benny, it was the defenses on Chalet last week against Livid that were weak. Or, I guess, weak in air quotes for Wichita Wolves. They needed a couple 1vx's to win them.
Yeah.
But on their attacks against Panic, they were just dominant throughout. Now they're on attack here.
Is it going to be the same thing? Hard to say.
Is it?
Yeah, Outlast has been, I don't know, Outlast has been like, I can't tell if they're good in attack or good in defense, but they've shown, glimmers of hope on different sides and different maps. So sometimes I just don't totally know what to expect sometimes from them, which is good. There's still a bit of a wild card.
Always surprising.
Always surprising. So it's we need surprises here on this defense. We start on this gym bedroom defense. Can they surprise us once more against Wichita Wolves? Because we said before, like you said before, Wichita Wolves attacks have been pretty crazy so far.
And starting out for gym bedroom right here. By the way, just want a quick point. Like the Capital brought by Abinai, we saw Nomad run it one round. I'm a big advocate of Capital. I feel like teams should run it more often. He's got smokes, he's got firebolts, he's got everything. Hard breach charge as well. That's my very small elevator pitch for Capital to be run more in lineups just because I like him as an operator. Abinai's running him, and for right now, it appears that in terms of hard breaching, they're sticking more with the Thermite and the Maverick, completely the opposite of Outlast's Ace and Hibana. Now, of course, as you can clearly see, as Freak will about to peer over plat balcony, bigger hole. Thanks to the Thermite. On a site like Gym Bedroom, you really need that one exothermic to open up plat to deny CCTV, and then that one exothermic as well to open up Jacuzzi wall. And once you've opened up those two positions, you can do a really good job of pinning down the players in CCTV, and then once you've cleared that out, then pin down the players on the site. And that's all thanks to just 2 exothermic charges.
True, very true. Big thing here, though, is the fact that, well, they've electrified this wall right here. Which, well, electrified is just the bandit battery. They can destroy them from the construction window. Though there is a mirror watching it, though, and the question is, how is Wichita Wolves going to deal with this mirror? Are they going to go below with a grenade? Are they going to go from the Logi hatch and try to get them from that Logi hatch? Though there isn't a Rooney gate on the Logi hatch. So interesting here, but no, great shots from Nomad onto Abinai. There goes a key member of utility. It's a Capital. So as the fire bolts could have been used to deal with the mirror, but oh, well, they're gone now, unfortunately. And I don't know where Nomad got that kill from, but still great shots, probably from somewhere, actually in front of the corner there. I think they're sitting in front of one of the corners, most likely, or maybe in bathroom.
Well, there is still some utility on the side of Wichita Wolves to clear out that logistics position, mainly 2 frag grenades, both in the hands of Forrest and also in the hands of Mohes. So 2 operators that could go to that logistics hatch, try to send a couple nades on down, and clear out inside of logistics. Freak, for a moment, was contending with the player sitting on that bedroom doorway into construction, but he'll rotate out, and for right now, Wichita Wolves are likely going to need to start forming a consensus on some kind of identity for this push. There's still the logistics player sitting inside of Logic. Well, obviously, that's Atheno currently. Danik's also contesting that construction door. Jewel with the smokes inside a bathroom. All these bases for Outlast are covered, and Wichita Wolves need to decide on some kind of identity to pull through. That mirror inside of logistics has now broken, so Forrest could feel emboldened alongside his teammates to push on through, but right now, it appears that Freak could have been the big player, but he's shut down by a counterflank from Nomad. Jewel's position inside a bathroom, also reaping rewards, manages to get 1 kill. Now it's on Forrest and Call Out to make it back. Call Out, the only one left, has managed to get 1 kill, but Nomad finishes him off. The first defensive win will go to Outlast.
Unfortunate for Wichita Wolves, but great job in Outlast. Those mirror windows able to deny the push from Logi or make it difficult for Wichita Wolves to make that Logi push from construction. It required Wichita Wolves to just to rotate to other places, try and push Jacuzzi or push late in the round when they were trying to have Freak go up main stairs, trying to have some kind of diversion to allow them to push on a Logi, allow them to push in the site, because they really didn't have any control. There's still a mirror window watching, that Jacuzzi entry as well, so they were barred from both sides. And it's surprising that nobody from Wichita Wolves really tried to go downstairs to deal with those mirror windows. Maybe it was too late at that point, and they had Freak just go up main stairs. But nobody early on, there was no. Also, they didn't have firebolts because Abinai died early to Nomad, unfortunately. So they had no utility. I'd say no utility, but they had less utilities to try and deal with those mirror windows from different angles, would be grenades, firebolts, what have you.
And then clearly a lot of their play was staked on Freak going up main stairs. The moment he dies, you just got to push and hope you win your gunfights, and Outlast have the man advantage. For here as well, if Wichita Wolves are forced into that same strategy, it's not going to do you any favors on basement. If you lose, say, Abunai early on, clearing out Gen is going to be a lot harder. That's basically going to be the logistics of basement if Abunai dies early on again, because you need those nades to clear out those positions, the flashes as well. I don't know if Call Out is bringing flashes or smokes, but either way, you need something to clear those ADSs. If you lose Abinai and you're low on time, clearing out Gen's going to be difficult. Making your way down main is going to be difficult. You might be able to open those hatches, but you're losing so much by placing a lot of that focus onto Abinai with that utility. So the game plan here, you need to keep him alive for longer. So I don't know if it means putting him on the back lines or just praying. Whatever it is, Abinai's got to stay alive, because you're not gonna have a good time on basement if you lose Capital early on again.
Very true. Well, let's see what happens here so far. And this next is interesting. There's no kind of like bandit batteries or Kai coming out from the side of Outlast, so members of Wichita Wolves have no problem opening up these hatches. That's gonna be the first part, opening those hatches and using Abinai's utility to deal with the person behind blue, because this will be the first start is pushing him out, getting that kill, or at least pushing him out for the moment. And they really can't push. They could push Dirt, but Dirt's gonna be difficult because the Goyov Nomad has put those Vulcan shields inside of Dirt. So rather than just having Freak with the Vector, you have both Nomad with the Vector and having Vulcan shield to play inside of Dirt to stop them pushing Dirt. So it's gonna this might pigeonhole Wichita Wolves into a certain push, into maybe a kitchen main stairs push, or trying to push that mirror on that main window or main wall.
Right now, really, still a lot of exploring from Wichita Wolves. Forrest looking into Dirt. There is currently a player sitting inside of there. That is Genesis on the Jaeger, who Forrest will likely know his position. His drone has just now been shot, so well aware there might be somebody playing in that spot where Freak got a couple kills previously on Wichita Wolves' defense. For the rest of the team, as you said, I just said, still gauging their options, seeing what's viable. With that Goyo shield inside of Dirt, as you did mention, it's going to be very powerful for the Jaeger to sit behind. Now that the kitchen hatch is open, they can start making their way down and putting some pressure inside of Armory, but still a ways to go before anything concrete can happen.
There's all these renegades. Look at all this util on the way of Wichita Wolves. I guess the question is, how are they going to deal with this, and who are they going to push first? Athena could be a prime target with those firebolts from Abinai behind Jen, because they don't have Omai, so these, those firebolts aren't going to get pushed out or they get stopped by anything, so it'll be a prime place to deal with them and maybe make it into maybe try to do a dirt blue kitchen push, but dealing with dirt's going to be difficult with those Vulcan shields. So grenade comes out onto the player inside of blue. Nomad takes a bit of damage playing, back of AK, but otherwise Wichita Wolves aren't really pushing just far. It looks like they're gonna do a drop, but is there any smoke from the drop through? Oh.
Well, we will see a firebolt go out, and the smoke bolts are now transitioned to Abinai. He can feel free to shoot those out, but there's still players in Gen, still players in Dirt. They're coming down main, down Moto, and down the kitchen hatch as well, but they're just trying to mount over the players of the defense. And with Abinai gone, he's used his utility, but this is an example of Outlast. They have all these angles at their disposal. They still have control of the site with man advantage as well, falling more dominantly in their favor as each second passes. It's now all left up to Forrest. He tried to drop down Moto. He's got a couple kills, but it's still Outlast with 2 rounds in a row. And it's not just 1 round lead now. Outlast are in a dangerous spot of getting match point and securing themselves at least 1 point against Wichita.
Oh, that was unfortunate there for Wichita Wolves, and yeah, Outlast and bringing it back now. And the big thing too for that round was you saw, unfortunately, Wichita Wolves really couldn't make anything. They didn't try to push Dirt because they knew the Vulcan shield was there. They tried to push down main, they tried to push Moto in multiple directions, and they tried to use those firebolts to deal with members. But Jewel, you saw Jewel in that position. He was getting firebolts, so he jumped on top of the desk by AK, allowing him to sit in the corner, and they expected him to leave, but because of that position, he could just watch them drop and murders Abinai immediately. Genesis also playing inside of Dirt, able to walk out and deal with those players dropping down the hatch because there was nobody watching, nobody trying to deny that. Because all the members at that point had dropped down and lost their lives one after another. And the Moto push, the main stairs push, one member there, one member here, really can't do much when they have a mirror in place, both watching Moto and watching the main stairs.
Wichita Wolves have struggled in these couple rounds so far, even when they have a full man count. They didn't lose Abinai early on. Abinai dumped his full utility in the site to clear out positions of power that they thought needed to be dealt with, and also close off lines of sight to facilitate that drop. A couple members still died on the drop down, and even with those sights cut off, the moment they diminished, Outlast just swung and took down all of them. It was a similar problem on Jim as well. When they lost out on Abinai, they just tried to continue pushing in on those exact same positions, and they lost their gunfights, as can sometimes happen if the entirety of your take is now reliant on winning your gunfights. For there as well, nobody tried to contest Generator really all that much, so that's somebody who can then support the players trying to stop the kitchen hatch or watch the Moto hatch where Forrest dropped. Either way, Outlast had their bases covered. For Wichita Wolves, I think that's a good time for a timeout because something is going wrong in this lineup. And now there's a third site that they have to deal with. This is something new that not only did Wichita Wolves have time, Benny, to talk about what they need to fix, Outlast had plenty of opportunity to go over their game plan for this new site that they haven't gone through with yet.
Well, this is a big site that we saw, Outlast win though on their attacks, so we're hoping to see which Wichita Wolves do the same. But the question is, how is Outlast going to play this differently? It's interesting to see how we saw, the focus on hard breach denial on the side of Wichita Wolves and their defense, and Outlast seemed to play no mind to hard breach denial on their defenses. Just interesting differences when it comes to their defense, their operator picks when it comes to defenses. So we'll see them so far though. The Ella in hand, another shield we brought to hold off the direction. Jewel, of course, on the smoke with the shield as well, and with the Nomad, with the Wamai, and the Jaeger, it's gonna be more difficult to deal with those players in Rafters with how much utility dump they have to put in to stop them from sitting up there.
You have those Capitals to deal with, or those Omais to deal with, of course, if you're Capital, and again, that's the player, or that's the position that the Capital will likely. I thought Jen would have a lot of focus from Abinai. That was not the case, so maybe Abinai's not going to focus as much on Garage as I initially think he would. Normally, you just firebolt to the left, firebolt to the right of the person, and then try to pinch him out by taking that gunfight. It's going to be completely different here. For all I know, he could just send it in through construction and try to work that way. Whatever it is, Wichita Wolves, they've had their timeout. Now they have to show us the proof of it working. They've opened up that flat wall early on. That's a great bit of control. Now transitioning into Garage, which is exactly what they're doing right now, opening up that bottom left Garage wall. This is where we need to see that play and some coordination to take out that Wamai of Thino playing in Rafters.
Nomad playing bar will walk off for the moment, walking towards strip actually. So maybe he's waiting for a time to push up and to be aggressive later in the round. Members on Wichita Wolves who may be in lounge. The wall's open in garage. Yeah, he said, yeah. Now we see the coordination. Can they deal with this member in Raptors with both the disc and the ADSs in hand? Of course, Umai and Jaeger aren't as strong as used to be, but it still is a difficult task. As looking to look up, and now Abinai should bring his thing up, but Atheno still, great shots with MP5K, deals with Freak. The firebolts come through. Atheno's taking a lot of damage, but he's run through the fire. He'll get shot down. He's trying to rotate away. Call takes a lot of damage and aggress as well. Joe will try and help out his teammate, throwing out one of those smoke canisters, but Atheno should be secured and finished off in a quick second. There it is. Mo has to finish him off. The Raptors control is in the hand of Wichita Wolves.
You've lost Freak, one of your powerful entries, but you still opened things up if you're the Wolves. You have Raptors control. You can make your way into the site. There is one player trying their best to stop you from making your way on through. That's Panic sitting on top of the box inside of Cash. But Wichita Wolves, with a minute left, have plenty of time to start consolidating their positions with outside plat and on Garage! But Mohes on the pre-fire, Abonai walks straight in front of him. Forrest, thankfully, takes that opportunity to just send things, cut their losses, hedge their bets, try to make this work. He gets two, one with the frag, one with the gun, almost a third as well, not with the pistol. Genesis finishes him off. Call out, thankfully, uses that distraction to get the bomb down. He has a powerful position, but in the 1v2, Outlast can play their trades and just go 1-for-1. Nomad's on low HP. That's Callout's opening. If he can manage to find one, whether it be Nomad or the other, he can make this work. He finds one running out the main door. He takes him down. He's got to repel up, but does Nomad have time? No, he falls off. He still gets the pre-fire. Match point for Outlast. 3 in a row. Timeout, not enough for Wichita Wolves in the end.
Disable the bomb diffuser.
If they just had another person.
Successful.
They just had one more person.
Oh, well, but that was a very chaotic round to say. It was, well, the start of it was pretty good. It was them trying to take control Raptors. Atheno gets one pick. Good on
I think a
Atheno.
1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1. Go for 1-for-1. Atheno gets taken on after that, of course. They take control Raptors, and they pushed it into a play. There's pre-fires coming out on some members in red. He shoots Abinai in the butt. Abinai goes down, unfortunately. We go on to they're 2-man down at that point. It's a 3v3 at that point as they run in. They get a grenade kill the member in red. They take control of site, of server, CCTV. They push in. They deny the people inside of Cash. But people coming up red are our issue. And the person's still inside of Cash that was not killed or not known in the corner of Cash. So that allowed for those last two members to spring out. Of course, he had the pistol at that point. Couldn't win that fight against the person red, and the person Cash then flings out as well. Denies both those players, and it's call out in a 1v2, and call out can only do so much.
Wow, this is... I did not expect to potentially go 0-3 today, Benny, but it's looking like we might be in that position if Outlast can keep this up.
Yeah, I think the only person who actually got correct today was Brimstone.
Yeah, no, Brimstone was the only guy who got... well, I guess any prediction's correct, and
yeah,
it appears that all of the desk, except Brimstone, might go 0-3 today. Who will go 2-3?
Brim wasn't here today either.
That honestly, I hope we go 0-3 just for that, because that might be the funniest thing to ever happen.
He's not even here to gloat about it.
Literally
he's
not
he's
even
at a
here.
wedding.
Yeah, good wedding. Hope you're having fun. But
I hope he's watching.
in the middle of the reception, he's sneaking peeks at his phone, like, oh, Panic's dropping 7 right now. Impressive. What questions I would ask him in an interview.
I digress. We go back to the gym and bedroom for our defense from Outlast, which could be their last defense. But the big thing last time was Wichita Wolves trying to push in, and they were trying to deal with these players, off site. They're trying to throw these players downstairs. They're trying to downstairs. They're trying to deal with that opening jacuzzi up, opening up into construction, but they didn't really have the time or the coordination to go downstairs and try and deal with these mirrors elsewise, because otherwise these mirrors costed them time and utility that they could not get back, and in those dying moments they could not stop. They could not get a plant down.
Also, interesting adjustment by Wichita Wolves, Benny. Abonai to the Hibana instead of the Capitao. Did not expect the 3 hard breaching combo to be what comes through for Wichita Wolves in this round. Obviously, you do also have some flashbangs, so that could help clearing out that logistics position. Of course, Forrest will open up this hatch, likely give Mohes maybe a powerful angle, but nobody's actually there. They've rotated off, so logistics not fully clear, of course, but no player playing as aggressively as they initially thought. With all those 3 hard breaching, they can open up literally whatever the hell they want to in any spot of the map. But without that Capital, that could have been very useful for utility for, say, clearing up logistics or setting up an execute.
Well, those X-Cows are important, though, dealing with those mirrors.
That's true.
We saw from Outlast,
point.
they don't bring anything hard breach now. Mute's banned. They're not bringing the Kite or the Bandit, so it's not a difficult time to bring that X-Kairos and get that kill. Genesis is the first pick on to Ab and I, so there goes those X-Kairos that I was talking about.
Hey, maybe... Hey, if you're talking about the utility potentially lost, using that X-Kairos early on clearly proved me right. Ab and I likely would have been saving that for the execute, but there's panic on the flank. He's retaken the eastern side of the map. Cash is now in his control. Shot Freak in the back. Now Wichita Wolves have to scramble to recover not only their position, but cover any intel on where Panic is currently residing. There is one watching the cash window, but time is running out to be watching the flank. Mohes will drop down, but he takes about 50 HP worth of damage on that drop in front of the gym window. They have to start pushing in. Callout's taken off guard. Panic's still there. They forgot about him. He's almost got the third, but he misses a lot of key shots, but he doesn't need to shoot anymore in this round. He just has to wait. Forrest takes him down, but it's now the site players they have to deal with. They're in the red zone now. Diffuser recovered. Mohes falls. Forrest has got a clutch of 1v3, and he's taken down. The most dominant win for Outlast so far. We all go 0-3, and this was a result I don't think any of us expected today.
Man, we really is wrong with every single game, guys.
Hey, actually, you know what's funny? You know what's funny?
Yeah.
It was 7-3, like Connor thought.
Or 7-4. No, oh, no, 7-4. 7-4, right? I was looking
Connor
for.
said 7-3, 7-4, I think.
Yeah,
and it was 7-3.
Yeah, it was a 7-3, like he said. He was
True.